I was born and grew up in North Vietnam, so I went to South Vietnam. I got a job at the kind of Nike shoes place, and at the time I make about $100 a month, and work about 13 to 14 hours a day. So I came in here. First, I thought that what can I do? What job can I get, right? But then I also wanted to go back to school because I know that only education will make the futures better. And then I finally got a job at a medical device, which I'm working right now as an production operator. I'm making $9 per hour at the time. So I was really happy. You think about $9 per hour a month, I get about 1,000 versus 100 in Vietnam that I would work 8 hours in here. Plus I work like 14 hours in Vietnam. So I was so happy. And then when I worked in there, I knew that I just want to go back to school. I need to find the time that I had to be going back and get my degree. So I worked in there. I met a lot of engineers who worked in there. I worked with them a lot. And I have a lot of idea how making things and stuff. So I start as an operator, and then I became a technician, I became a chemist, and I became an engineer. Now I'm the senior engineer on the department. And it's hard. And when I go to school, after a couple of years of the schooling, we start have baby. I pregnant my daughters, and my due date is 2 days after my final. Then I was really scared that maybe my daughter come out before my finals. I talked to my teacher, and it's really hard for me. I have 3 kids now, so it's really hard. It's really a lot of stressful, a lot of pressure doing midterm and the final. And 2 of my sons, I found out later they both autistic. He's really never called me mom or anything. He talks, but he doesn't really communicate with you. And my husband kind of thought the same thing too. So and said that, okay, maybe he had something. People said maybe he's slow of speech. So, and then we took him to the doctor, and the doctor said, yeah, that's why he's fine, because she gave him alphabet and number. He said, what is it? And he answered, no problem. And then when he's 2.5 years old, it's still the same thing. And I said, something's wrong. Something is not normal. So when he's 2.5 years old, I just found out that I pregnant my third son. And then I went to the doctor again. I said, I want to go to a specialist because no way he's normal. He's not normal to me. And I know my son best. I know my son more than anybody. I be with him every day. He's not normal. And she said, yeah, I'll send you to specialist, because he gave a lot of questionnaire to answer. And none of them, the question that he really know. All the questions I know. And then we went to specialist, and they said, yeah, he had autistic. And that day, I don't know what to do. I'm pregnant, I'm like 3 or 4 months pregnant with my third son. And I don't know what at the time, I don't know if I have, they said that usually a boy had more chance of the autism than a girl. So I was so out of it that day. I was scared. I don't know what to do. And I thought a lot of negative about my son in my stomach too. I said, will it be a girl or a boy? And if a boy, will he have the same thing or not? So I was really scared. But really nothing you can do about that. I cannot really give up my son. And then when my third son, 1 year old, I knew that he had the same thing. He never speak. He didn't understand. I called his name. He never looked back. He never looked with the eyes. So I knew that he had something. And I know he had even worse than my second son. He's really now 4 years old. He's really cannot speak anything. He's really at the point when we're testing him, he's about 6 months old kid. But even though he's 4 years old now, but what he knows is just only 6 months. And usually I have to wake up 4 o'clock and make the breakfast for them before I go to work. And I try to get to work at 5 o'clock, 5:30 or 6 the latest, because I have to come home early for my husband go to work at like 3 o'clock. So I have to be home by 2:30. So usually I get to work by 5:36 and I work to 2:30 and I come home, I pick up my kid. And if I have school, I have to go to school, of course. And then I play with my kid. It's really, because they need a lot of attention, they need a lot of care. So it's really, you cannot really do anything other than just focus on them. And I'm gonna make them dinner and then feed them, take a bath like normal for the kid, and then put them to sleep. And then that's how my day is really every day. Weekday or weekend is really no difference. Just because anybody who have autistic, like special ed kid, know what exactly I'm talking about. One kid, I feel I have to be equal 3 to 4 normal kids that you have to extra care. It's hard for me to like keep up with school, with full-time work, and with take care of my kid. But I always worry about my 2 sons, because sometimes I worry that if I'm passing away, who's gonna take care of my son? Because it's really hard for them to take care of themselves. So I always tell myself that it's really only things that I can do to be successful, make a lot of money, and save up. So in the future, if anything happens to me, at least I have some kind of account or security that really help them getting by or whatever. It's really at that point, I don't know what gonna happen really, but it's the best for me right now is really to get my degree. And I know it's hard. Many times, more than once, I think I gave up because it's too much for me. But I told myself that if other people can do it, I should be able to do it too. It maybe take people 5 years, 4 years. Take me now, so about 10 years now. But I finally come to really close to the end. I have 2 more classes that I have to take. And close to the graduation, I feel some things that it's making me proud, because I think that I can do it. And I did it for my family, I did it for my sons. And so I'm happy about that. I know I can do a lot more. I have to do a lot more by my son, but it's just getting my engineering degree was really my dream when I first came here, and I finally come to the end. So I'm somewhat really happy about that.